Hey guys, hope you're doing great today. It's great to be with you from all three campuses getting to hang out, and I'm so pumped to jump into this with you guys. Who has ever had a crush? Well, you guys are 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, so there is most likely a chance that at some point, somewhere, you have at one point felt your heart flutter. What do I mean by heart flutter? Well, we've all heard about these like crushes you get, right? People joke about celebrity crushes or a crush they have of someone they know in their classroom that they think is really cute. And when we have these crushes, we're all often like people jump to conclusions saying, oh, I love them. Oh, this is the love of my life. And I am not in middle school anymore, but at one point, I did have a crush to this degree. I had a few crushes growing up early on, but like the one crush that I truly remember was actually when I had just finished 8th grade and going into 9th grade, and I was starting driver's ed in Wisconsin. And I was a homeschool kid, so I walk into the driver's ed class for the first time, grab a seat not knowing anyone, sit down by myself. And the most beautiful woman in the entire world walks into the room, and my heart drops. This woman proceeds to sit in front of me and then ask me my name. And she tells me a little bit about herself. Her name was Katie Van Blarcom. And at first, I actually thought Van was her middle name and Blarcom was her last name. And I teased her about that. And like for the next month, we did this like 5 days a week. Next month, this was what I was so excited about. I didn't care about the class. Who cared what Mr. Ertl had to say? I cared about Katie. I showed up every day. My hair was made sure it was perfect back when I had hair. It was really important that I showed up because I was feeling some things. I had these feelings. I was smitten, per se. I thought I was in love. I was in love. I was in love. I was in love. Now, jump to the end of the story, like 8 years later. This is Katie Kuhn. She's my wife. But at that point, I thought I loved her, but I really didn't. In fact, it took me 2 years to convince her to even date me. And at that time, I associated all these feelings I had, this crush, this, wow, I can't stop thinking about this person. I associated these feelings as this has to be love. This has to be love. Now, I love my wife, and she loves me now, but at that time, I would have to say I wasn't in love with her. I just felt some things. I felt some things inside about myself. But real love requires actually something else. It requires action. Real love requires action from ourselves, an action point. Because real love is not about you, it's about the other person. And let's be honest, a crush, it's about you. So what does real love look like? Well, real love we know comes from God. And in Galatians 5:22, the first fruit of the Spirit is actually love. It says, but the Holy Spirit produces this kind of fruit in our lives, love. Then he follows it with all this other stuff, joy and peace, but it starts with love. Well, what does this love look like? Well, this type of love is not the crush kind of love. It's the self-sacrificing, put other first, God kind of love. And we see in 1 Corinthians 13, actually, what God kind of love looks like. He gives the Apostle Paul gives the list, and it says that love is patient, love is kind, love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It doesn't demand its own way. It's not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins. Love never gives up. Love never loses faith. It's always hopeful, always endures through every circumstance. In that list right there, we see what God love looks like. And it all requires action. It requires you loving another person. It's not about you. It's about someone else. It's about the other person. This is a God, amazing, obsessed over you kind of love that we're supposed to give to everybody else. Not the Riverdale kind of love where you're jumping from boyfriend to girlfriend. No, that's not love. Real love is self-sacrificing. Love is patient. It is kind. And when we see the fruit of the Spirit, let's go back to Galatians 5:22. We see the fruit of the Spirit. It says love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. It starts with love because everything else starts with love there. If you don't have love, you can't be joyful. You can't have peace. You can't have patience. It starts with love. Real love is this, that Jesus laid down his life for you and me. Who are you going to put first today? Because real love isn't about you, it's about them. Love you guys.